This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's happening? This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com, along with Grande and the Brown Man. It's Monday afternoon. We're just getting onto the airwaves of 1090, getting onto the stream of YouTube, all the different audio podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, all the way down to iHeart. Tonight, we're on TV, Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara, and in between Orange County and LA, it's Channel 118 if you've got Cox or Spectrum Cable. So I'll say this. I'm hoping that people will tune in tonight for the TV show because, let's face it, baseball season has now officially come to an end. Now, I don't know about the rest of you guys. The Houston-Philadelphia World Series doesn't do much for me. And the fact that it doesn't start until Friday later this week, you're going to lose me. If you started it tomorrow, you might still have me. But by waiting till Friday, you're going to lose somebody like me. But I'll just throw it out there to you guys as we just get onto the airwaves. How are we feeling this Monday afternoon when there was so much excitement, there was so much juice? And I said this to you guys last week. Like, for me, beating the Dodgers was already the accomplishment. You guys were like, no, man, you got to now try and win it all. And then you convinced me, like, yes, you're right. It's the wrong attitude to have. Beating the Dodgers is great, but it's not enough. Give me more. And then all of a sudden, you run into this Philadelphia team that is just on fire, and they can hit bomb home runs. And obviously, there's a lot of people that have questions about what Bob Melvin did or did not do during this series, but it's now over. You know, all the towel waving and everybody who's got merch around town. I've got my LFGSD sign going. People were buying merch on our site. It just ended. It just all ended. So Grande, Brown Man, good afternoon. How are we feeling today? You've had a little time to digest.
Empty.
Yeah.
Nothing to look forward to anymore as far as baseball goes. You got used to it there for the last 3 to 4 weeks where every game mattered. And now you come back, and I'm not at the we had a great season mode yet. Maybe like in a few weeks we can talk about that. Right now it's just utter disappointment getting beat by a team that just straight up beat you. And we can go into the details later, but yeah, just feel a little emptiness right now because there's no big time playoff game to look forward to at Petco tonight at 5:00.
Yeah. How about you, Mr. Positivity? I mean, you've been driving the positivity train all season long. You told us that they were going to make the playoffs. You told us they were going to win series. You told us the scores that they were going to win by. I mean, you were nailing these things. How you feeling today?
I'm still struggling with the decision making by Bob Melvin.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I've watched a lot of sports in my life, and I always forget why I hate baseball strategy until I see it again and how much I actually hate it. And baseball strategy just, it makes me sick. It's just dumb. It's literally dumb. Like, baseball has the tool to take the most important player completely out of the game. Just take them out. Just take them out. They could have done that, and we'll get into details about that. But the idea that baseball has the perfect mechanism to take a guy like Bryce Harper out of the game, and you just didn't. So
when you say the perfect mechanism to take him out of the game, what do you mean? You mean like walk the guy?
Yeah.
You got to say something too. Like, I understand that there is a fan base here, which is every fan base has this, where they get upset if you even question anything. Like, we have to cheerlead the whole time. No. There is this is sport. You literally are allowed to call out when something goes bad, celebrate when something goes well, and like straight up be exuberant when you're surprised, like beating the Mets and the Dodgers. But it's okay to criticize Bob Melvin, even though he has been the right man for the job.
Yes.
You can have both in the same cup. And I think there's a fan base, a part of, at least on social media that I've seen the weekend, where it's like they get offended to even remotely bring up the question of questioning Bob Melvin, which I think is just, this is the whole fun of sport, is that we get to and we get
they out there.
Oh yeah,
they out there,
or the people that, like, I remember like 5 weeks into the season, I was like, I'm sorry, Jurickson Profar. I never thought you would be the everyday left fielder, blah, blah, blah. And now there's like people out there, say sorry to this man. Y'all pooped all over Trent Grisham, and look what he did for you. And now Trent Grisham, his
0
hit
for
list,
19.
NLCS, like, it's
Right.
cool. That's the beauty of sport.
Right.
And that's what those dudes signed up for. The same way, like, we sign up to say things publicly and we can be scrutinized for anything we say. That's what they signed up for, to be questioned, to be criticized by fat slobs on the couch. That's what that's what the whole sport is about.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'll just say this. Trent Grisham had an incredible postseason. He did, with a lot of highs, and unfortunately, the way it ended with tremendous lows. But the fact of the matter is that the Padres would not have gotten to the National League Championship Series without Trent Grisham's
True.
offensive explosion in the first 2 rounds. But in the 3rd round in the NLCS, Trent Grisham went back to who he was during the regular season, which is why most of us thought he should not be playing, or at least even some of us thought not even be on the postseason roster going into the first round. And then the guy comes up and has one of the most incredible postseasons. You know, last week when we had Adrian Gonzalez on, you asked him, Alex, have you ever seen anybody have the kind of turnaround? And Adrian's like, yeah, it happens all the time. Guys just get zoned in and then all of a sudden they perform. And, you know, that's kind of what happened with Trent Grisham. But the notion of you can't criticize, you can't question, that doesn't make any sense to me at all, because I didn't read a lot of what you just said is out there. I read the opposite, which is it seemed to me like everybody was questioning Bob Melvin's decision to not use Josh Hader in any of the 3 games in Philadelphia, and most specifically yesterday to have Suarez pitch against Harper when Harper hits what turns out to be the game-winning home run.
I think everybody universally hated Saturday more than anything.
Yeah.
I think the Clevenger Mania, you know, that was the biggest debacle. I think everybody was pretty comfortable criticizing that, you know, because it was 2 guys that, I mean, they showed you what they were. So on yesterday, this is where you get like nitpicky and stuff. Like, Suarez has been your dude, you know?
Dude, Suarez been
your guy.
Yeah.
And Harper's been their guy. Yeah, I mean, in sport, like I keep saying it, their best guy beat one of your top guys. It happens.
Look, I feel like I felt like Bob Melvin with the Suarez Harper situation. That you go with your guy. Suarez has been getting dudes out in that position since they gave him the role. Stick with that. I don't want Hader doing 6 outs. I don't, because he doesn't do that a lot. So I want Suarez doing what he does, because he's done that well all postseason in high leverage situations. Bryce Harper is the dude. Like, everybody should be taking their head off to Bryce Harper. As mad as you are at Bob Melvin for pitching to him or however, or not bringing in Josh Hader, whatever the reason you mad at Bob Melvin for, what Bryce Harper did is legendary. Like, you knew a guy could do this, and then he did the thing that you knew he could do. So I take my hat off to Bryce Harper for succeeding in a high-pressure situation. But to me, the only thing that you could have done is what you did for Schwarber when his last at-bat. Just walk him. Just go, not even going to mess around. Walk him. They should have done the same thing for Bryce Harper. And for all the – hold on, let me put my glasses on for this.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert. Here we go.
Let me get my papers.
All right, here we go.
For the beep-boop who said, oh, you can't walk a guy at first because there's somebody on second. So damn what? So what? So what? Are you that baseball nerdy that you're gonna go, oh, you, for all the people who don't know, you can't do that. Yeah, well, you're lost. Well, because they didn't score another run. So if you walk him, Suarez would be better against the other dudes because he pitches with people on base. So the whole thing was like mad frustrating after watching them basically come back, do the impossible. They come back, and then to have it end that way just sucked it out of you, man. It really did.
I'm with you, though. I got to say, if this were the Dodgers and Freddie Freeman would have hit a home run, you'd be like so angry as a Padre fan. But I don't have hatred for the Phillies. Not that I'm a fan, but I like Bryce Harper. I mean, it's just as a player, I like the guy. And I'm so impressed with what he's been able to do this year. For a guy who cannot throw a ball, he cannot play in the outfield, to to do what he has done with his bat. And by the way, to live up to all the hype, because Bryce Harper has been hyped since he's like 16 years old.
Yep. He's
You know, he was a
baseball
cover
LeBron.
boy. Right. He cover boy of Sports Illustrated at like 17, 18 years old. And leaving Washington to go to Philadelphia and having Washington win a World Series without him, and now him leading the Phillies to the World Series with his bat to come up clutch. I'm with you, Browner. I take my hat off to Bryce Harper. You know, and I know everybody's all over Bob Melvin because Hader didn't pitch in any of the 3 games. But I'm also kind of like, you know what? Suarez was great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their best guy. Now, Suarez had been great, but he's still a 31-year-old rookie with kind of a crazy story as to how he got to where he got. I guess I could live with the criticism that they maybe could have considered using Hader, and the fact that he never pitched in any of the 3 games.
And then looking back, it's easy to say no too.
Of course. It's
very
easy.
Like,
but there's I think my larger criticism of Bob Melvin for the specifically the 3 games in Philadelphia was that he was managing like we were for sure going 7.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really bothered me. Like when you're down 2-1 on Saturday, like he was like, I need to stretch Manaea out because we're gonna need arms the rest of the way. It's like, dude, if you lose today, you're toast, dog. And he was and he put Manaea out there in high leverage situations when the guy hasn't pitched in 2 weeks. And when he did pitch, he wasn't very good. And he had a great performance against the Giants. Who didn't? Who didn't on this pitching staff have a good performance against the Giants? Right. So it was I think that was my overall sentiment towards Bob Melvin was, man, he really coached like we had a lot of games left. You know, I think I even tweeted it on Saturday, like he was coaching Saturday like it was a Wednesday game in July. And I just didn't vibe with. And then, you know, it's funny because then the people that will defend him will be like, well, look, Wilson gave up a home run. Garcia gave up a home run. Like everybody came in and gave up hits. Sure. But at least that's the bullpen that's been locked down for you the entire time. And if your best guys get beat by their best guys, I can live with that. I can live with Rhys Hoskins looking like prime Mark McGwire. You know, like it happens, dude. We got Trent Grisham by Rhys Hoskins. So it happens. But I don't like losing a game on the backs of 2 guys that have been brutal for you all season long. Like maybe not all season, but for the majority of the second season, those 2 guys were brutal. And I don't like losing games that way. Yesterday, like you said, Browner, I hate the expression, but yeah, dude, tip of the hat to freaking respect Derek Jeter's nephew, dog. You know, respect. Like, what are you gonna do? He became a legend in Philly yesterday.
No doubt about it. No doubt. Bryce Harper went from a guy, $330 million contract and, you know, good player, but hurt a lot. And he became a Philadelphia legend. There'll be a statue of him next to Rocky Balboa at some point. You know, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you get the idea is, man, I mean, Harper's their guy. He's the guy that they have all their money wrapped up. They're going to win with him or they're going to lose with him. And he came up with yet another clutch home run.
The part that is just so frustrating in every sport, I don't know what you do in hockey or soccer, so I'm only speaking about the sports I watch heavily. In basketball, if you double team a guy, the likelihood of him getting off a good shot and making it, very, very small. In football, you double cover a wide receiver, the quarterback might not even look that way. So there are other sports where you can kind of take the guy out. You can 100% take out the most lethal ability for Bryce Harper to succeed. And they just didn't do it. First base was open, which also opened it up for a double play. It just, none of it made it just, oh my God. That's why it's so maddening to me today, because I've seen people do that to Barry Bonds. Bryce Harper was killing you. It wasn't like that was his only big hit. He had a big hit in every single game of the series. Like every game when they needed a hit, somehow he was at the plate. Base hit, home run, opposite field home run. Like he was doing the thing that you go, we can't let this individual do.
Yeah, the guy wasn't on second, but I get what you're saying. I still
where was the base runner? Was the base runner?
He was on second, no?
He was at first. But I understand what you're saying, because I at that point with no outs, like I still don't mind it, but it's like, yeah. That yesterday was rough. Melvin was put in a situation where it's like, okay, I'm either going to extend my closer to do things he never does and get, I guess the term that I was saying is getting cute.
But he had done that earlier in the playoffs.
He
4
did
outs.
against the Dodgers. And,
This was 6 outs.
I know, but he hadn't pitched.
Also
I mean,
not a good thing.
You know, like,
but it's like
when,
at some point, like, you can't really pitch around a third of their lineup. At that point, you're basically pitching around Schwarber almost every time.
Which they did.
They had to really pitch around Hoskins because he made them. And that's a lot of dudes to pitch around in the top 4 of their lineup. I mean, I don't know, man. And it was an opposite shot, too.
Listen, I'll tell you guys
Right.
this. I'll tell you guys
His
this.
second
right now.
one.
Yeah.
Right. But I'll just tell you guys. We went into this series. The phrase was playing with house money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd shock the
See, I
world
didn't
by
feel that
beating the
way,
Mets
but
in New York.
That's true.
But nobody expected you to go to New York and win that series.
True.
Nobody expected the Padres in the NLCS. You could just keep it simple as that.
Nobody expected them to beat the Dodgers. Nobody expected them to beat the Mets. So they did it. And I know, Alex, you said you don't feel this way yet. I'm already just like that, feel this way. What an incredible season. With as many things that happened this year, truly incredible that they got to where they did. And I can say this, I can never remember in 21 years, I can never remember a Padres season ending and me thinking to myself, well, can't wait for next year because next year will actually be even better than this year. I mean, never one time. Not when Bruce Bochy was managing, not when Tony Gwynn was still playing, not when Trevor Hoffman was closing, not when they won back-to-back division titles. At no time ever, at least in my 21-year history in town, have I ever gotten done with a Padres season and been like, can't wait for next year because you know what? They'll probably be even better next year. So for me, I just my mind immediately went to, yeah, it's disappointing to lose this series the way they did. But man, what an incredible season for this organization. What an amazing year for this fan base. And if what we were doing was playing with house money, and then you get Tatis back healthy, hopefully, mature, professional, grown up, it's all the things we would all like to see this young man be. If you get Tatis back and he's that guy, imagine what the Padres should theoretically be a year from now. Because Juan Soto, you got to give him some credit. I mean, his bat woke up.
He was heating up.
Yeah.
So you take Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, and Manny Machado next year, and Cronenworth. I mean, my mind immediately went to, wow, amazing year. Congratulations, Peter Seidler. Way to go, AJ Preller. Bob Melvin, incredible. Manny Machado, insanity. I mean, but my mind immediately turned the page and went, man, next year.
Not me though, because
you guys are knowing me on this.
No,
yeah.
dude, Saturday
Yeah,
you're up 4-0 in the first. You're up
Yeah.
6-4 in the fifth. On Sunday, you make this comeback that you've been doing all postseason long. You're up 3-2, whatever it was, and in the eighth inning. I just think that the reign of disappointment still fills me more than. But I don't disagree with anything you said. I want to make that clear. I just don't feel that way yet, but I will eventually. But no, I think that the disappointment definitely outweighs we had a good run. It's just
because you could have beat them. I think the reason why I still feel that because you didn't know if you could beat the Mets. You damn sure didn't know if you could beat the Dodgers. I thought they could beat the Phillies. The Phillies weren't better than them. They played better than them.
Well, they got hot. I mean, the Phillies just got so hot at the right time. And the Phillies, they just like the Padres. They pulled two big upsets that most people did not see coming.
And that's why I thought we could beat them.
Yeah. And then got super hot at the right time. And, they took a game at Petco Park. And then, like you're saying, Alex, I mean, Saturday, when you jump out to an early lead, like I was sitting in a bar watching this game on Saturday night in Nowheresville, West Virginia. And I'm like, wow, huge lead. That's what you had to have. Jump on them, get out early. And then if you just were to go back to Saturday night and you were to look at some of the numbers, Clevenger did not get out of the first inning. 0 outs, not 1 out recorded, 0. So Clevenger, I mean, look, we all know about his injury history. We all know about the Tommy John. We all know about his attempted comeback, and it just didn't go well. I mean, there were a couple of games during the season. You're like, yeah, look, maybe he'll come back. But
And you gave up so much for Mike Clevenger too. Like, when you look back at everything that I have to like go look specifically, but I think you gave up like 3 major league players, 2 or 3 prospects, and you gave them like $13 million to not even play last year,
and 4 guys who all contributed to the Guardians playoff run.
Yeah,
gave up a lot.
And a starting pitcher that's pretty damn good in Cal Quantrill, who you could have used.
Well, I mean, listen, for the moves that A.J. Preller made that worked, like Soto, which took time, like Hader, which had its highs and its lows, Drury, same deal, Bell, same story. For the successes of Preller, the Clevengers on the other side is a monster failure.
Yeah, that didn't
really
work out.
No. All right, well, listen, we're just getting underway. We're just getting rolling. Mark Loretta will join us. He is the special assistant to the CEO of the Padres. He's a former Padre player and a former Padre great. Everybody knows that. Mark Loretta, where's he at? I wonder where his head's at.
He's going to join us later.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
He's going to join us a little bit later.
He will join us.
Okay, Mark Loretta, later this afternoon. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We're just getting going. Baseball has dominated our lives, and we'll keep it rolling. This is Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Your Health is brought to you by Clever Care Health Plan, your partners for comprehensive care.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
When your air conditioner needs to be tuned up, repaired, or replaced, call Bill Howe, the name you have trusted for over 40 years. We carry the most reliable, energy-efficient brands that will fit your budget. Whether you are looking for a traditional or ductless air conditioning system, you know who to call.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe, because we know how.
Do the ups and downs of the financial markets have you on a roller coaster? Don't let the market take you and your investments for a ride. Stabilize your funds with SDCCU's Great Rate Savings, Money Market, or Certificate accounts. Choose a savings option that meets your needs and watch your money grow with SDCCU. Earn 1.5% APY on a 12-month certificate or 2.5% APY on a 36-month certificate. Open an account at sdccu.com/now. SDCCU, it's not big bang banking, it's better.
Change the way you look and feel with San Diego's most comprehensive varicose and spider vein treatment facility. San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center offers minimally invasive, pain-free procedures performed by board-certified cardiologist Dr. Tahizadeh. With over 17 years of experience, we specialize in the diagnosis of varicose veins, spider veins on the face, hands, and legs, ankle discoloration, leg swelling, and more. Improve your vein health today. Visit consultation.sdveintreatment.com or call 619-582-2404.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. As promised, Mark Loretta is going to join the show. We've been talking about this all day. Mark Loretta is about to jump right in. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. Want to encourage everybody who's listening on radio right now on 1090 and everybody who's watching on YouTube tonight, 7 p.m., we're on Channel 4 San Diego. We're on Channel 4 Santa Barbara. And if you're in Orange County or LA, we're on Channel 118 if you've got Cox or Spectrum Cable. And you will see Mark Loretta as part of the TV show tonight. Here is the special assistant to the Padres CEO, former Padre great second baseman himself. Here is Mark Loretta back on Kaplan and Crew. Mark, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, boys. How we doing?
We're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty good. Mark, I would ask you this just to get started here. Who is the number one person or group of people that you blame for the Padres losing this series to Philadelphia?
Probably the Philadelphia Phillies. Honestly.
Yeah.
I
hadn't thought about that.
I think at the end of the day, man, they just outplayed us. I think Padres played well, and the Phillies just played a little bit better. They got big hits when they needed them. They pitched well. They made some plays. Even though their defense was pretty shaky, I thought they made some big plays at times in the game with dives and things like that. So, you can second guess a million things. Hindsight's 20/20, but at the end of the day, I think they outplayed us.
I was thinking it was that's what's in, guys. Have you seen the video of the guys? Bryce is going to lose and Manny's going to cruise. That's what's in. Have you seen that video?
I have. Yeah. Tim Flannery had a few things to say about that on Twitter, I think.
I blame those guys more than anybody, more than the Philadelphia Phillies. I blame those guys. What did Tim Flannery say on Twitter? I didn't see it.
I think he named the band. I guess this is a local band. And Flan, as you know, Flan is a big music guy, and he's in a band as well. So I think there's some rivalry there.
Can I ask you? I want to ask you a technical baseball question.
There he is.
Hey, you're a smart baseball guy, and so am I, and we agree on a lot. And so I want to, with a man on first, and Bryce Harper being as hot as he is it traditionally frowned upon to have walked him and put men on first and second? Is that a strategy that no one would do?
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of a rule. Is you don't want to. You're ahead by one. So do you want to move the tying run into scoring position and then essentially put the winning run on base? Now, you can say the argument that Bryce Harper's in scoring position at the plate, and that turned out to be the case. But if you walk Harper and the next guy hits a bleeder that's tied up, you're second guessing that. So it was a tough spot to be in. I didn't mind Suarez in that situation. I know you had Hader. Sounds like he may not have been loose, but Suarez had been dominant against lefties. He's got that great changeup. I thought the pitch of the at bat was that 1-2 changeup that Bryce laid off. I couldn't believe it. It was in the strike zone for so long, and then dove out, and he took that pitch, and then I'm like, oh boy, we could be in trouble here. I thought they were trying to elevate on Bryce, and they kind of left it. Middle. It was on the outside corner, but it was middle, and he can drive the ball to the opposite field, and obviously that's what he did.
Mark Loretta is here this afternoon on Kaplan and Crew. He's been, playing playoff analyst, and really he's been playing Padre analyst for us all season long. He's the CEO. Well, he's the special assistant to the CEO of the Padres. As far as the question that Browner is asking, when a player is so hot, though, even though it's kind of not what the book says, is there a time where you just go with your gut? Listen, I'm not even so sure that the argument is that you shouldn't have pitched to Harper, in as much as, maybe you should have had Hader ready to go. I mean, Hader did not pitch at all in any of the 3 games, Mark. So I don't know. Are you critical like that of Bob Melvin, just given, your background in the game?
Well, yeah, I think he could have gone different directions, but I thought if you look at the formula, the way this team's won, and with how good Suarez has been, and he's pitched in multiple innings, you get him to finish out the 7th, go out there against some tough hitters in the 8th, get through the 8th, and then you got Hader for the 9th. That's really the formula. And Bryce Harper is a tremendous player. He's not Barry Bonds. It's not like he's hitting a home run every time up. And again, Suarez is better against lefties and righties. It's hard to believe, but with that changeup, and like I said, man, what an at bat! I think it's just a historic at bat, and he beat our best. And what are you going to do at the end of the day?
What did you think about Saturday night?
Oh boy.
The for a guy like Clevenger to not even be able to get out, not just not get out of the first inning. Mark, he couldn't get an out.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch that, what were you thinking about?
Yeah, that was a tough one. I think there was some hope that his knee was probably going to feel better. But I think, in hindsight, that's another thing to kind of question. I would have liked to see Martinez start that game. And I said that, a few games before, simply for the fact of, he's been a tremendous reliever for us, but he's also been a starter. He's been stretched out. And he came in and did an unbelievable job to right that ship. But at that point, we were behind the 8 ball on our bullpen. So, Clev's a competitor. It's unfortunate it didn't go right for him. But, you had to get him out of there as soon as you did. And I thought that was the right move. And then, you could probably make the argument that Manaea was in there a little bit too long, to face those guys in the 5th inning. But again, these are all tough decisions. They happen quickly. You got to get 27 outs. You only have so many pitchers. This is where it gets tough, man. It gets really tough. And when it doesn't go right, you open yourself up to criticism. It's not an easy job.
I think we started the show with Scott saying like he's already kind of feels like, hey, this is a great season, and obviously I think I personally will feel that way later, but I don't feel like that now, because when you do beat 2 100-win teams and get to the 6th seed, you're like, yo, we can get to the World Series here. You as a fan, I know you're connected to the organization, but how do you feel today? Do you feel like this disappointment because you think you also thought and knew that they could beat the Phillies, or do you already feel like, yeah, this was a really good season?
No, I've got mixed emotions. Absolutely. I had that feeling that this was a special team, special year, special circumstances. I thought they could beat the Phillies. But when, I'm shocked the Phillies only won 87 games this year. I mean, that's a hell of a lineup. They've got 2 number 1 studs at the front with Wheeler and Nola. They're back into the bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez melted down there a little bit in the rain yesterday, but with him and Alvarado, man, this team's pretty darn good. I'm not sure, they wouldn't have beat the Braves or the Mets or the Dodgers. It would have taken, absolutely our best effort. And I think our guys played well. But like I said, they just really were hot and they outplayed us. Simple as that.
Yeah, but I think, Mark, what I said was, look, the phrase playing with house money. When you go to New York and you beat the Mets when nobody gave you a real chance to do that, and then when you turn around and you beat the Dodgers the way that the Padres did, look, it would have been great to get to the World Series, but this was a run that I don't think anybody really saw coming in the development. And what I was really saying was, this is the first time in 21 years of covering the Padres where when the season ends, I'm actually already thinking about what could be happening in the next year or two.
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt like that before on any Padres team, even going back to the 05, 06 teams.
This is one of those occasions, Scott, when you had a very mature take here. I think what Alex is saying is that, it hurts. It hurts to lose, man. I mean, that 7th inning against the Dodgers in Game 4 was the most fun I've ever had watching a baseball game. Honestly, that was unbelievable. I wanted more of it. I loved the 2nd game against the Phillies when they came and they had to put a 5 spot. It was so fun to be at the stadium and see that place going nuts with the towels and the music. It's incredible. And at the end of the day, really, there's only one team that's going to be completely satisfied with their season, and that's 1 out of 30, the team that wins the World Series. So, absolutely, it was a successful year, no question about it. They went farther, than I thought they would. But again, you don't go that many opportunities to get to that point, get so close, and when you don't get there, it hurts. So,
when you see a guy like Bryce Harper, because again, you blame the Phillies because they were terrific. This isn't something where you feel like the Padres blew it. You knew they had a chance because after beating the 2 teams they beat and finding themselves against the Phillies, a team that pretty much battled the wild card as much as they did, you felt like they had a chance to win. When you see a guy in baseball like Bryce Harper, because basketball is different, football is different, guys, you kind of see these performances a lot. Outside of pitching, you really don't see a hitter of that magnitude deliver in that large of a moment that often. What do you think this is going to do for him going forward and for the Phillies?
I think that was a signature moment in Phillies history and probably in baseball history. I thought the broadcaster, I think his name's Joe or something like that, it was on Fox Sports. I thought it was a great call. Bryce Harper with the swing of his life, and it really was. I mean, that was unbelievable to do that in that moment with 2 strikes, all that kind of stuff. And he's been kind of a prodigy since he was 15 years old. And he's really hasn't had a lot of chances in the postseason, and man, he's thriving on it. If you look back, had we not had the DH this year, he probably wouldn't have been playing. He can't throw. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, they were the 6th seed, so they wouldn't have made the playoffs in the past. So I think those 2 changes ended up being positive, not for us, but for the game in general, just to see a guy be able to play in a moment like that.
Talking to Mark Loretta this afternoon, former great Padres second baseman and now the special assistant to the Padres CEO. Hey, let's go back for a second here while we have you, rather than just rehashing this Philadelphia series. You said last Saturday night when the Padres beat the Dodgers and that 7th inning was the most fun you've ever had at a ball game. I would agree. I've never seen Petco Park like that. And look, Mark, the Padres haven't played the Dodgers in the postseason that frequently, and particularly with fans in the house where it's all Padres fans. Okay.
Right.
You did not tell us though last week. I must say, you did not tell us that while Jake Peavy was going to throw out the first pitch, you didn't tell us that you were going to be catching the first pitch. Did you know that, or did that just sort of happen?
I did know that. Yeah. But I didn't want to take away from Jake's thunder there. I was really just the caddy catching for Jake, and it was a special moment because obviously the whole deal with Musgrove and growing up idolizing Peavy, and that was a cool moment. But yeah, I knew I was going to catch it. It was fun to be out there, but I wasn't the star attraction that night for sure.
Why were you the catcher? I'm just curious.
I think the idea was that I was a teammate of Jake's when he was here in that era with that uniform, and I think probably too, they didn't want to take a chance on somebody dropping it.
Now later in that game on Saturday night, there was a point where the Friar Vision monitor showed you and a whole bunch of guys that played together, it seemed like, in that era, and it happened kind of fast on the scoreboard. But who was with you guys, and where were you guys?
It was awesome. We had the Padres set us up with a box kind of next to the press box. And it was Don Orsillo, Mud Grant, myself, Steve Finley, Trevor Hoffman, Peavy, and our wives. It was awesome. I mean, I was embraced when we got that big hit. When Cronenworth got that big hit, Steve Finley and I were just embracing. I mean, here's a guy who had one of the biggest home runs in history for the Dodgers and is a borderline Hall of Famer. But we were just like little kids, man. It was giddy. And to see Mark Grant and Don Orsillo and to watch it with Mud, every single pitch, and he's doing all his antics with the umpires, and we just had a blast, man. It was so fun, and it just, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, me neither. I'll never forget that night, because me and Alex and John went to the seats where we were, which was in like down the first base line. But I had a buddy of mine who was sitting in the front row. And I said to him, I go, hey, man, you mind if I come down for like half an inning? I just want to come down and watch a little bit down there.
And be on
come
TV.
On down. Yeah, I was trolling some people in LA.
There we go.
Yeah. And Mark, I wound up staying innings 3 through the end of the game. And I don't know if at any point you were watching on a monitor in the suite going, why? That's not the seats that I helped you secure. I don't know.
So let me get this straight. You abandoned the guys you came with?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, not shocked. Yes. Not shocked. Almost welcomed, by the way. Because way, the FOMO leaves and he gets to go and be where he wanted to be. Him securing us getting in is all we needed. And by the way, hats off to you, because not only did you hook us up, we were sitting next to the guy from CBS and his wife, and they were awesome people too. And we all just shared probably one of the more memorable moments I'll ever have at Petco, unless they win the World Series, and being there for them to knock off the Dodgers. And a big thank you to you for that, because I'll never forget that moment, man.
My pleasure, boys. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad we had we're able to take care of you. But yeah, what a moment. What a ride. And thanks God for sort of being the mature guy in the room. I'm feeling a little better now that I've talked to you. But what a run. It's And I think you're right. I mean, it's probably a little early to start talking about position by position next year, but man, I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the offseason and what's going to happen next year. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think like we talked about that earlier too. It's not like, yeah, position. We can have conversations about position by position, but the core group of the guys that you got to feel so comfortable going into next season with Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, and then Machado, Soto, Tatis coming back, Cronenworth, Kim. Like you have a real. Nola's been improving defensively, catcher wise. Campusano's a young guy coming. Like you got to feel really happy with. I actually never thought about it, but the way Scott said it, like you got to be actually like legit excited. You have to
I'm
really
totally
be
excited.
legit excited next year.
This is not a one-hit wonder, in my opinion, and that's what really this organization is trying to do. And what Peter Seidler wants to do. It's not about making a run 1 or 2 years out of 10. It's like let's get there 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times and take our shot. I mean, I think we're set up for that. With the backing of this ownership and the way that AJ Preller can restock a farm system. Yes, we gave up a lot to get Soto, but hey, a couple years down the road, we'll have those prospects again. I'm confident with that.
Yeah, I think, we look at all the wins that AJ had. I mean, obviously this year was a monster year, and the move that he made to get Soto and Drury and Bell and Hader, and little did he know at the time what was going to happen here like a week later with Tatis. On the other hand, and not that I'm here to like knock anybody, but just the Clevenger thing is so frustrating because Clevenger got hurt, got paid, didn't have to play, came back this year, didn't really perform the way he once did. And yet so many of the guys that the Padres had to give up to get him, Mark, you look at that Guardians team this year in the postseason, I think they had like 4 guys that were all former Padres that were part of that Clevenger trade, that were all contributing.
And Tampa Bay and stuff. But you also got to look at, okay, are those guys better than the guys we have in those positions right here? So, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, do you take Hedges over Nola? I don't. I think defensively they're close. Hedges might be a little bit better, but I like Nola's bat. I think he puts the ball in play. I mean, Hedges doesn't at all. Yeah. That's just one example. So that's what you got to look at, I think, in the
when you look at, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it's not really position by position. But when you look at, there's 3 dudes that played first base this year, and none of them are under contract next year. That's probably the biggest hole for this team. Like when you're looking at a glaring hole, like who's going to be at first? Before I ask you about, do you bring back Will? Do you bring back Josh? Do you bring back Drury? Is there any chance that you keep Kim at short, you move Cronenworth over, or you move Kim to second, like a little shift over, make room for Tatis? Is that a real possibility, you think?
I think it's a thing to look at. I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation to see, what you do with when Tatis comes back and the way Kim has played. I mean, I've got a tough time taking him off shortstop. I mean, he's been so solid. Every time the ball's hit there. And I remember having a manager, I can't remember if it was, I think it was Phil Garner. He said, the biggest thing about playing shortstop from a manager spot is like when the ball's hit over there, you feel confident, you feel comfortable about it. And with balls hit to short with Kim, I'm like, you guys are going to make the play. It's awesome. So my point is, hey, yeah, maybe you look at Tatis in the outfield. Maybe you slide guys over. It's tough for me to take Kim off of short, but we'll see what happens.
See, this is for me. This is where I lose people. Because you're right. When it's hit there, everybody's got the confidence Kim will make the play. But the range in which the plays he can and cannot make are completely different from the athleticism and range Tatis can make. Now,
do you agree or disagree with that, Mark? Do you agree with that, or do you not agree with that?
Not necessarily. I mean, maybe it's just because I haven't seen Tatis in a while, and you kind of maybe you forget a little bit. But I mean, Kim's range is, especially going his left. I mean, he makes plays that are incredible. I mean, he's a finalist for the Gold Glove, and that obviously we've seen is based on metrics. So his metrics are good.
Oh, I was about to say, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that.
Show Mark what you do. Show Mark what you do, Browner. Show Mark what happens when you start getting into the numbers. Put on your glasses, dude. Show him.
Oh, wait a minute now, Mark.
Yeah, this is
about the metrics of Golden Glove. I got to do this. I got to go to the chart.
Tape on your glass?
That's right. Nerd alert.
Nerd alert. Beep, beep, boop. Beep, 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 boop. Beep, beep, boop. Beep, beep, boop. The numbers are stupid. How's Manny not? Just give Manny the award. Damn, Arenado. Manny be making plays, man. Hit it over there. It's an out.
It's asinine.
Make no sense. And I like Soto. He a Golden Glove finalist, but baby, they hit it to him. He don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's going.
Supposedly that's voted on by the player or the managers and coaches. I don't get that. I mean, man.
I know, it's hard to believe. Hey, Mark, been a great baseball season, though. Really has. I know while so many Padre fans are still hurting and they're thinking about what could have been, I'm thinking to myself, what an incredible year. How the Padres reinvigorated the city of San Diego through sports was incredible. And we just want to say thanks a lot for being a part of it all season, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having me, man. I'm so pumped that the Padres have been such a source of pride for the community. That's what it's all about, and that's what I think we got going forward. In the near future and the extended future.
Mark Loretta stopping by. Thanks to Mark Loretta for being here with us all baseball season long. We really appreciate it. Hey, for everybody that is watching right now and listening, I want to say that we are back tomorrow. So radio listeners, we're about to sign off the air, and YouTubers and audio podcasters and TV viewers and everybody else will have a separate finish for you over here. Mark Loretta, awesome. And I know it's only the first day after the fact, but we'll be talking about this for days to come. From the 7 Mile Casino Studios, we are back tomorrow. Peace out, 1090 listeners.
Many are adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to their homes. Our experience, plus our strong relationship with the city, makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
We listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylambert.com for your consultation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on Your View and yourview.com. Your Health is brought to you by Clever Care Health Plan, your partners for comprehensive care.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com.
Hola, I'm JR Cardenas.
And I'm Vanessa Ramirez.
We're the hosts for Su Vida, where we showcase California restaurants, music,
art, culture, and so much more.
We would love to talk to you about featuring your business on our show.
Yes, and as an added bonus, you get to keep the professional video segment to repurpose and use on your website or social media channels.
Please click on the link below to get more information about how to put your business on Su Vida.
We hope to hear from you soon.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on YourView or stream it online at yourview.com. Brought to you by Procopio, San Diego's largest law firm, committed to community, representing San Diegans for more than 75 years. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Many are adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to their homes. Our experience, plus our strong relationship with the city, makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
We listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Absolutely. The best part of the day is working with the team and working directly with customers. Just because it's fun and I enjoy collaborating. I enjoy watching the customers' reactions when the designers come up with their spaces. And we really take pride in the team effort and what we accomplish in the end.
I can tell that the team we have, accountability is very important. They feel like the work that we do is not just a reflection of themselves, but a reflection of us.
We've always been a design build company, but now we've taken design, not only architectural, but interior design to a completely different level.
The philosophy of integrity here at Murray Lampert is always doing the right thing even when someone isn't looking. In turn, the homeowners get a really great product.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Murray Lampert's design process is very collaborative. We love the process, and what's best about the process is the way that it can flex as needed. So if there's a new piece of technology that's available that's really going to help us out, make a more accurate model, we're going to utilize that. We'll send the measure-off team to the house, and they will end up scanning the house using drones, LiDAR scanning, lasers, and tape measures to measure every square inch of the home. Then they'll take that information back to the office and build a 3D model of the home. We'll be upfront and honest if they're asking for things that may be out of their budget. We're going to let them know up front. We're always motivated to strive for excellence. There's kind of not another way to be. We do the best work we can and ultimately make the homeowners happy. What makes me proud is when we present that 3D model to the homeowners and we wow them. Sometimes we even bring tears to their eyes because they love the design so much. That brings me a lot of joy.
I feel like I have the fun part of the job where I get to help out and make my clients' houses look beautiful. We start with looking at the floor plan, space planning, and then we look at countertops, tile, backsplashes, flooring, cabinets, everything like that. We have a lot of client meetings start in our conference room. Sometimes we have some clients that have already selected certain items that they want to incorporate into their project. We want to make sure they're happy with it because they're going to be living with it for a very long time. Sometimes we'll do something that goes totally with the style, and then we'll have a total outlier option for the client. And a lot of the times they end up going with that because they want to see something totally different. We want to make sure that we're focusing in on our clients. I really want to make sure at the end of the day the clients are happy, that I'm keeping up with my communication with them, and that we know that at the end of the day as well, and moving through the process of construction and everything, that we're going to have a successful project.
Joining me now is Paco Franco, Medicare Benefits Consultant with Clever Care. Thank you so much for joining us, Paco.
Thank you so much, Erica. I really appreciate it.
First off, we hear that Clever Care is a health plan customized for growing diverse populations. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the most distinct differences of Clever Care is that we combine the principles of Eastern and Western medicine to our approach of healthcare. You know, we believe in the complete well-being of our members and believe that wellness should be affordable. Anybody who's eligible for Medicare can join Clever Care Medicare Advantage HMO plan. We also have another enrollment period coming up called the annual enrollment period. This is the most popular one, which takes place from October 15th to December 7th. And during this time, you can sign up for a new plan, you can switch plans, you can leave a plan, or simply just return to your original Medicare.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westfield High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center, we take care of all various needs of patients for management of their venous insufficiency. People who come here are mainly concerned about symptoms that brings them on or issues related to cosmetic concern that we can always take care of. Now with the advancement of technology and so many catheter-based treatments, we can treat our patients much more quickly, much more comfortably with less downtime. Patients love the result invariably.
It's been a huge impact in my life to feel better, to be able to power walk again. Overall, I'm just feeling like I used to feel when I was a lot younger, and I'm so grateful for this place.
It's a privilege to take care of our patients. It comes from the heart, and I love it.
The NFL lives here. If it's about the NFL, you found the right station. Join 1090 every Sunday during the NFL season for the exclusive SoCal home of not one, but 2 NFL games every Sunday during the season on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Many are adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to their homes. Our experience, plus our strong relationship with the city, makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
We listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Watch live streaming rugby action for 2 full days with West Coast 7's Collegiate Tournament from Treasure Island in San Francisco on Saturday, October 22nd and Sunday, October 23rd on yourview.com. See some of the best college teams in the West, including the #1 ranked Cal Golden Bears and the 2019 Cup champions, UCLA. Then tune in and catch the televised Cup semifinals and finals on Your View from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday, October 23rd. Visit yourview.com for more information.
Change the way you look and feel with San Diego's most comprehensive varicose and spider vein treatment facility. San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center offers minimally invasive, pain-free procedures performed by board-certified cardiologist Dr. Tahizadeh. With over 17 years of experience, we specialize in the diagnosis of varicose veins, spider veins on the face, hands, and legs, ankle discoloration, leg swelling, and more. Improve your vein health today. Visit consultation.sdveintreatment.com or call 619-582-2404.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and yourview.com. Your Health is brought to you by Clever Care Health Plan, your partners for comprehensive care.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.